Welcome back, friends, to the Castro Valley News live show. This is episode number 54, and it's frankly amazing that we've done 54 of these. And thank you for everyone who has returned to the show. If you're not familiar with the show, what we do is kind of like an old school radio show. So there is no video, it's just audio. So you will not see anything but a blank screen. And we will be doing like an old school radio show, old school kind of talk radio show about Castro Valley, things that are happening here, things that are on your mind, events around town. With that said, let's say a special thanks to tonight's sponsor, and that is forester.org. That is forestr.org. They are a local nonprofit with the mission to reforest urban communities. You can learn more about them at their website. That is forester.org, forestr.org. I say this just about every week. They are the wonderful folks at the side of the freeway picking up garbage. And if you're familiar with the show and some of the blathering that I do about the joy that I get from picking up garbage in my neighborhood, that my joy, that experience I'm going through right now, finding joy cleaning up my neighborhood, was inspired by the folks at Forester. I went one day, I think it was a Saturday, with them near one of the freeway interchanges here in Castro Valley, and spent a little time picking up some garbage and refuse at the side of the freeway, and kind of got the bug to to do that in my neighborhood. So, friendly suggestion: if you feel inspired, you have a little bit of spare time, it is incredibly rewarding to just stop and dedicate a couple minutes to picking up some garbage and beautifying your neighborhood. Not trying to tell you what to do, but it is satisfying to me. So one more time, that is forester.org, forestr.org. And I got a list here. Let me cross off the sponsor. Let's go into the roll call. And Kimberly is here. I want to note Kimberly was the first person to say good evening, and good evening, Kimberly. Bob is here. I want to stop and say a wonderful thank you to Bob. Bob does a ton of things behind the scenes and in front of the scenes to make this show great, including bringing in guests and excuse me, on a regular basis. Bob calls in to keep the kind of the flow of the show going when there are dead spots, and there are quite a few dead spots that happen in the show, which is my responsibility. So thank you again, Bob, for all that you do. Good evening, Elda. Good evening to Dennis. Hope Elda and Dennis are doing well. Laura is in the house. Good evening, Laura. Christy is here. Good evening, Christy. If there's anyone else that's listening that would like a shout out on the roll call, go ahead and post up on the comment thread there. Also, if you're interested, the text line is 510-331-9112. I understand most people are probably more comfortable texting as opposed to calling and being live, and I totally understand that. So if you have a comment, concern, confession, complaint that is related to local happenings, that's the number to text, 510-331-9112. I will not mention your name. I'll just mention the area code that the text is coming from. So that number one more time is 510-331-9112. Good evening, Terry. I hope you are doing well. And I'm just going to go through the comments here to make sure I don't miss anyone for the roll call. So yes, the call or text line is open. 510-331-9112. Or if there's something that you think we should be discussing, go ahead and post it in the comments, and we could definitely bring it up and have a conversation about it. I think one of the most cool things about the live show is that we are able to interactively discuss things that are happening in town, things that are on our minds, on my mind, on your mind. Every topic is welcome, so feel free to post, like I said, in the thread or text 510-331-9112. I guess I should cross the roll call off the list unless there's anybody else who's looking for a shout out. Mary Lou, your screen is black because there's a piece of tape on it. And we do this, there you go, there's me for a split second there. We do audio only for this. There's no video because I think if it were a video as well, it would definitely distract from the conversation, and the thought is kind of this is like a radio show. But I can understand that people would like to see the person talking, and I don't think that would enhance the conversation at all. Maybe in the future I'll get a different computer cam, and you can watch my dog sleeping behind me. That would probably be more endearing and entertaining than seeing me. With that said, I'm certain someone will probably ask, where is Don with One Bad Apple? And I want to get ahead of the curve there. Feel free to give Don a call at his shop. He is the wonderful owner of One Bad Apple Records on Castro Valley Boulevard. And Don's number is 510-889-9409. During his business hours, I'm sure he would love to hear from you. Don is an awesome guy. What's happening? I'm hearing what's happening on Lake Chabot Road. Police and coroner been on scene since last night. So says a website. All right, well, let me see. If you don't see crime tape, then there's probably not a crime, but I will reach out to my sheriff's contact and see what's going on. So bear with me because I'm going to send off a text here. It might take a couple seconds, and there will maybe be some dead air here. And can you please provide the nearest cross street on Lake Chabot? That would be helpful. But let me check here. Let me shoot out a message, see if I can get some info. Okay, so thank you guys for your patience. I just texted my sheriff's contact, so hopefully we can get some information from him in regards to police and coroner on scene since last night. Okay, it's by the lake. Okay. Okay, so thus far, it looks like the sheriffs have found a body, and I'm working on getting more information, and it looks like it's coming in right now. Okay, so you're hearing it first. The sheriffs found a body at Lake Chabot, and from what I understand, suspicious circumstances are happening. So there you go. And there's another message coming in. So this is the beauty of the live show, that you guys get to hear the information kind of in real time. But I'm working on getting more information as we speak, so I will relay that to you as soon as possible. Hang on, guys. I'm just texting here. Okay. So John is asking if there's any video, and we do. It's just audio for the show, so there's no video. But in response again to the question from Anne, the coroner and the sheriff's department are on Lake Chabot Road near the lake. Apparently, the sheriffs have found a body, and thus far there is suspicious circumstances suspected. I don't have any more information. I'll definitely get that out to you as soon as I can. And like I said, I have another message into my sheriff's contact asking if there is any more information I can put out on this. And as soon as I receive something, I will let you guys know. My guess is there are probably detectives out there investigating and looking into it and trying to figure out what's happening. And Anne is mentioning East Bay Regional Parks is involved, and I would suspect that they might be involved if the body was found on the park itself. But if it was a body discovered in suspicious circumstances, East Bay Regional Parks may probably potentially hand over the investigation to the sheriff's department. But like I said, I'm on it, and I'm trying to get information for you guys in real time. So as soon as I hear anything, I will let you guys know. Elizabeth is asking, why is the CVMAC micromanagers saying no to the new CVSAN building complex at the Caltrans yard at Castro Valley Boulevard and Center Street? That's another topic that I had on the list to discuss. And last night was the 5th time that proposal went before the Castro Valley MAC. And oh, sorry, let me get back to some of the comments here. Good evening, Eunice. I hope you are doing well. Kimberly is asking, was there a shooting? I do not know at this time. There was just a body discovered, suspicious circumstances near Lake Chabot. I don't know the exact location, but like I said, as soon as I get that information in hand, I'll pass it along to you guys. So getting back to Elizabeth's question, in regards to the MAC being micromanagers, I can't speak to that. It didn't seem that they were micromanaging the topic, the proposal itself. Hold on, okay, never mind, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, 5 meetings for the. Let me pull up the background here. So last night during their meeting, there was a 5-2 vote. The MAC denied a proposal from Castro Valley Sanitary District to construct a new 20,000 square foot service, maintenance, and corporation yard at the former Caltrans yard, 21195 Center Street. Through the 5 meetings, there were a lot of concerns from the council and also some folks in the neighborhood in regards to noise and also in regards to some of the features on the building. There was, it just, from the gist that I got from the MAC was that it seemed too industrial for the neighborhood. And to their credit, Castro Valley Sanitary District came back numerous times and did quite a few revisions to the plan to accommodate the council's requests. Daniel's mentioning he loves the show, and Daniel, we love you too. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Bob is saying regarding the MAC, if the Planning Commission says yes, does it matter? And that's a very good point. So when the plan goes to the MAC, the County Planning Commission sends a staff report with their recommendation, and the Planning Department's recommendation was to approve it. However, the MAC's sort of advisory duty is to give their advisory, not non-binding decision, non-binding opinion on issues that are related to Castro Valley. So a denial from the MAC does not mean that the plan is outright denied. because the next step, Kelly is mentioning something big happened at Lake Chabot yesterday. I guess you missed the update. There was the sheriffs found a body there. There are suspicious circumstances. It's an ongoing investigation at this point. That's all the information I have. Again, if there was more information, I will definitely get it to you as soon as possible. Getting back to the MAC and the CVSAN building. So the planning department gives their review of the plans, and they have their opinion that goes to the MAC. In this particular instance, the planning department recommended the MAC approve it. However, the MAC did not. You're welcome, Kelly. With that said, there were 5 meetings, and I think good evening, Mitella. Mitella, I want to give you a special message. I hope you're doing well. I hope things are better for you. And if you need anything, I think you've got my number, or send me a message. Please stay strong, stay well. Getting back to the MAC, I think historically the MAC have kind of gotten beaten up a lot, and Elizabeth is making a joke about the building not being beige enough, and that kind of leads into another thing that I don't want to sound like I'm outright defending the MAC. I don't think they deserve a lot of the villainization that they've received over the years. They're and I'm not saying that every decision or thing that they've done has been absolutely correct. There have been quite a few things that, as a resident, I've not really agreed with, or not that I particularly didn't like. Please don't think that I'm trying to go to bat for the MAC, but I'm trying to be fair, like most people should, particularly if you're in news and journalism. You definitely have to be fair. So with that said, again, I don't agree with everything the MAC does. And Elizabeth is asking, how does one get a seat on the MAC? You can reach out to Supervisor Nate Miley's office, and when there are openings, you basically fill out an application. There's an interview process, and I believe it is Supervisor Miley who chooses the people to serve on the MAC. I don't have Nate Miley's contact information handy, but I'm sure if you did a Google search for Supervisor Nate Miley's office, you can call or email and find out how to do that. You could also find out who the MAC members are. They are Castro Valley residents. Many of them own businesses here in Castro Valley. So I think a lot of the things that people may perceive about the MAC may not particularly be accurate. They're not people from out of Castro Valley on the council reviewing things for Castro Valley. And again, please don't think I'm completely like trying to shield the MAC from any flack from the community, because like I said, there have been things that I've seen at meetings that I didn't particularly agree with as a resident. And but getting back, I forgot what I was talking about. I was talking about the CVSAN building, and there were, like I said, thank you to our wonderful, fetching, wizened, learned moderator for posting the website for Supervisor Nate Miley. That information, if you want to apply for the MAC, that's right there in that website. Definitely, you can call Nate's office, or you can send an email, whichever is easiest. If there's an opening, anyone can apply. It is, I believe, Castro Valley residents only, but his office would have all the criteria and all the ins and outs that you would need to know. They would be able to give you all that information. So getting back to the MAC, a lot of people like to bash him. Some people don't. I don't have a dog in that fight, so I'm not picking a side, to be honest with you. There were, like I said, probably 10 times before, there were 5 meetings on this. There was a lot of detail reviewed by the council. And at the end of the day, the impression that I got was the council was very concerned about setting a precedent, about having a building, a maintenance yard that seemed to be industrial in that neighborhood. And with that said, there was an industrial use on that lot prior when the Caltrans maintenance yard was open. There was also, for a time, I believe CHP were using that lot for their motorcycle training. So there was noise happening there. There was, I never sat and watched what Caltrans did there, so I don't know the extent or intensity of the industrial use that they had there. But with all that said, at the end of the meeting, there was a 5-2 recommendation to deny. And again, the MAC's decisions are not binding. They are just simply the first level of local governance in correlation to Alameda County governance. So the MAC could say yes about something. It could go to the BZA, and the BZA could say counter to that. And that decision, the BZA, their decisions are binding. They can be appealed to the Board of Supervisors, but there's kind of a step process that these things go through. They go to the MAC, then they go to the BZA, then they go to the Planning Commission, and then ultimately the Board of Supervisors. And the Board of Supervisors have the final say on these items. So it's a multi-tiered process of how a lot of these things go. So with that said, I wanted to give you some perspective from the Castro Valley Sanitary District on that vote last night. And here's some information from Castro Valley Sanitary District General Manager Roland Williams. And this is a direct quote from him. This is not me speaking. Castro Valley Sanitary District has worked tirelessly to develop the most efficient and effective means of providing wastewater and solid waste services to the community of Castro Valley. The building project at Center Street is a major component of this goal. While we would have liked a more positive outcome of a recommendation in support from the CVMAC meeting on April 26, 2021, we remain undaunted in our pursuit of this project. This project will not only improve operations now, but for 80 to 100 years into the future, while improving the underutilized corner of Center Street and Castro Valley Boulevard. The main concern was the large vehicle and equipment storage and roll-up doors at the rear of the project. Those elements are a necessary part of the project, as the high level of service we provide requires large specialized equipment to keep the wastewater system operating optimally with minimal disruption to the community of Castro Valley. We are scheduled to take the project on May 26, 2021 to the Alameda County West County Board of Zoning Adjustments, and we continue to believe and stand committed to bring this project to Castro Valley as a benefit to the people of the community for generations to come. And there is a long website that I did not copy and paste here, but if you go to www.cvsan.org /wastewater/operations and engineering building, you will find more information on the building itself. So in the interest of being fair, I wanted to give you the perspective from CVSAN. And from my another component to that whole building is that it appears that CVSAN would like to consolidate all of their operations to one area, which makes sense. They have offices in the village that they utilize because the building that they have on Marshall is not large enough for their operations. So constructing this building at that corner, which was purchased by CVSAN, I believe in 2013. I could be incorrect on that one, but they purchased it a while ago from Caltrans. It kind of seems sensical for them to want to consolidate their operations to one location and be able to do as much as they want there. The MAC did not agree with that, and the MAC issued that denial. So we will see when the West County Board of Adjustments reviews it and see what their opinion on it is. And I will let you guys know when that happens. But for now, the MAC did not approve of it. Their advisory recommendation was to deny it. And let me see. Bob is mentioning the key word is advisory. That is all they are. If a supervisor in Fremont or Livermore doesn't agree, that's too bad. I don't know if there were any other questions or comments or observations on this. If you do, feel free to text me 510-331-9112. And yes, Bob brings up a wonderful point. On the other hand, we do vote for CVSAN directors. And Bob is mentioning also they did an excellent e-waste under COVID restrictions at Canyon last Saturday. So there you go. Okay. If nobody else has any comments or opinions on the CVSAN building, I will cross that off the list. And let me backtrack and thank Anne for giving me the heads up about the that situation on Lake Chabot. And as always, absolutely, I'll let you guys know as soon as I hear anything else. So thus far, it's looking like the Alameda County Sheriff's found a body on Lake Chabot Road. From what I'm hearing from folks, it's near the lake, and suspicious circumstances are being investigated. So if you're still seeing sheriff's cars out there in the corner, they're investigating. So I will let you guys know as soon as I hear anything on that. Next thing on the list, let's talk about pledges. You may not be certain. Castro Valley News, we are a business, and we are trying to how do I say this best? We are trying to wait. Mark has a comment. Sorry. Mark has a comment about the CVSAN. If they keep building, you have to be able to handle the water supply and the waste from new construction. And that makes sense. Castro Valley's not getting any smaller, so it would make sense that the sanitary district would want to be able to have a building to accommodate the increasing population and size here in Castro Valley. We're getting a lot of new buildings, and I don't know what else to say about that, guys. Getting back to the next thing that I had on the list here, we are a business. Castro Valley News is a business, and we are trying to do everything we can to continue to bring up to the minute news like we just did about the situation on Lake Chabot Road. If you would like to assist us in our goal, please consider making a donation. And to do that, you can just make a pledge. It could be $1, it could be $2. Hang on, I'm texting something here. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Pledges, yes. You can definitely support hyperlocal independent of the moment news by making a pledge of any amount. $1, $2, $20, whatever, 50 cents, it doesn't matter. We are local. There's there's a handful of people involved in Castro Valley News. There's not a lot of us, and we have bills, we have dogs to feed, we have bills to pay, and we definitely want to continue to do this, to do what we do for many years, to get you news and information and means to speak to your neighbor and get up to the second news. So if you could, the website for our pledge page, the link to our pledge page is in the comments there. It's castrovalley.news/pledge/. Any amount helps us do what we do and continue doing it into the future. And to the people who have pledged, and there are quite a few people, thank you guys so much. Thank you. I see through emails and through the website the pledges that come in from the community, and it's really an honor and it's humbling that people appreciate what we do, because like I said, we live here and we love what we do. We love our town. This is it's we do have skin in the game when it comes to news, because we live here, and the importance of news to enhance and enrich the community is so important. And I hope you guys hear that, and that resonates with you guys, because like I said, we love our town. We love bringing you news. We love bringing you information. It makes people more informed. It makes people smarter. It makes people much more invested in their community when they're more dialed into what's happening. So to everyone who has pledged so far, thank you guys so much. You have paid us the highest compliment by supporting us, by putting for the lack of a better term, by putting your money where your mouth is. And it's a little bit goes a long way. That's all I can say. So if you feel inclined and you'd like to support local news and show some love to people who love your community, please make a pledge. And that's enough for the begging for right now. We'll cross that off the list there. Oh, the number is 510-331-9112. If you'd like to comment, complain, confess, bring up a topic, if you want to tell me to stop talking, please do so. The phone line is open, 510-331-9112. I won't mention your name. I will give the area code, and I'll read your comment on the air, and we can have a discussion about what's on your mind, as opposed to me rambling, which I am doing right now. This Saturday was the last day for the Hallmark store in the village. And I wanted to take a second here to wish the very best to Bill Saltzman, who has owned and operated that store for over 40 years. And there are a number of people in our town who have worked for Bill. A lot of people mentioned that was their first job, working at the Hallmark store. I have a friend who worked at the Hallmark store, and when the notification first was put up that he was closing, she was just stunned and in disbelief, and she worked there for quite some time. So I wanted to say it's been great. It's the Hallmark store is just a great shop. If you look on the page and you see some of the photos announcing their closure, it was just like a tidal wave of good comments and good vibes towards that business. Amy is mentioning Lake Chabot Speedway alive and well, like clockwork. Amy, you are mentioning a topic that has come up numerous times by a couple different people, that Lake Chabot has a problem with people speeding there, and it's accurate. There have been a couple of times where pedestrians have been struck on Lake Chabot, particularly near the park. I think there was a fatality a couple years ago, and it's so easy for you to hit those hills going in either direction and just drive over the speed limit. And it goes without saying, that's not safe, that's not cool, that's not good. So I am definitely going to, Ganit Good evening, Dennis. I'm sorry, Denise. Denise, I read that wrong. Denise is here. Denise is late. Wanted to give you a shout out. Okay. Sorry, I thought there was a comment there. But Amy is saying, seriously though, they run the light at Somerset going nearly 70. I have seen that. I have seen that happen. That is that's a funky little intersection there. But like I said, there's no shortage of speeders in Castro Valley, and we've covered this topic a couple times. I was out in my car today, out on the boulevard, and things are opening up, and people are back in their cars big time, and people are driving on the boulevard like they're on the freeway. They're cutting in and out of lanes, cutting people off, and another thing that goes without saying, man, slow down. And you know, you may be in a hurry, you may be in a rush, but if you take a little bit more time in not driving fast or not driving irresponsibly, you may save a whole lot of time standing at the side of the road because you got into a traffic collision or, goodness forbid, you hit a pedestrian. I mean, just think of that time exchange. I get what it's like to be in a hurry. I know what that's about. I get it. I get it. I get what it's like being late to an appointment, being pressed for time. And oh, Bob just made a comment there. Yeah. So I mean, just think of that. Think of that push and pull, that give and take. That okay, yeah, you're going to speed, you're going to cut in and around cars. That's going to save you a couple of minutes. But in the off chance that you hit another car, get into a traffic collision, or hit a pedestrian, that's going to ruin your entire day. It's going to ruin someone else's entire day. Depending on whether someone is injured or not, it ain't worth it. It's just not worth it. And I know I'm preaching, but a little bit of consideration goes a long way. So yeah, I'm going to step off my soapbox there. So getting back to the Hallmark store, this has come up a couple times. It seems like the village, the character of the village is evolving. I think it's a good thing. It's not a good thing that some of our staple long time businesses there are leaving. It broke my heart when Lime Leaf Tie closed. It was tough when Dryden Tide closed. Now the Hallmark store is closing. It's different. The times are different. But and leading to the next thing that I have on the list here, Nick the Greek. It looks like Nick the Greek will be opening in a couple months. That's what I've been told. And another bittersweet thing there is Worldwide Art used to be at that location, and those guys were just awesome. Local people did fantastic work. I know you guys probably enjoyed looking in their window at all the cool Disney stuff as much as I did. But the shopping center, to its credit, it's holding up pretty darn good for something that was built in I think the late 50s. It's holding up real well. I know there's a lot of people who have issues with parking. There are times where it's just super difficult to find a spot. The bowling alley is open. I know that's good for that's going to be exciting to Kimberly, because I know that's been on her mind for basically all through the pandemic. I think we're super fortunate to have a great and vibrant shopping center. There are still little mom and pop fun shops and stores that continue to enhance the character of the village. And I'm going to give a huge shout out to Aaron's Art Studio. I'm going to give a shout out to Robin's Nest. Let me give a big shout out to Chris at Eden Bicycles. I just bought a bike from Chris 2 weeks ago. It's been a long time coming, and it's really, and I'm just mentioning, in mentioning those businesses, I'm mentioning people that I know. I know Lorraine at Robin's Nest. I've been friends with Aaron's art studio for, I think, close to 20 years, and I love Aaron. I've known Chris for about the same amount of time. Let me mention, who else can I mention? Satinder and staff over at Aroma. Love those people. Ethan over at Health Unlimited. Oh, what's another small shop that is Tony and staff at the bowling alley? Great, just great people, just great people. Um, we're deeply, deeply lucky to have a great, wonderful, vibrant shopping center like the Village. Doesn't I know a lot of people have pushed back against some of the changes and improvements that have happened there. I don't think it's lost its charm. I don't think it's lost its good feel, its down home feel. It's still there. Bob's mentioning Mel at Mel's Shoe Clinic. Thank you, Bob. I knew there was someone I was forgetting. And Debbie mentions Dana's Party Planet. Great folks. There's just so many good businesses in the Village that are kind of still those little independent places. I mean, we're getting a lot of food places there. I mean, we're getting Nick the Greek a couple months out. We're also getting the dumpling and dim sum place next to Robin's Nest. People need to eat, and so, okay, I just got information from the sheriff's department. It's looking like that thing on Lake Chabot is an East Bay Parks case. So I will follow up with them. Let me see if I can. Bear with me, guys. Okay, sorry about that. So I'll go over that again. So on Lake Chabot Road near the park, a body was found, and it's looking like it's. Hang on, I'm having equipment problems here. Okay, sorry about that. So a body was found near Lake Chabot. Suspicious circumstances, and it's looking like East Bay Regional Parks are handling it, and I'm in the process of getting some contact info for them so I can get you guys some more information. So back to hang on, guys. All right, so were we talking about the Village? Yeah, the Village it's evolving, it's changing, it's been upgraded. I can't think of her name. She owns a Vitality Bowl. She's local. She lives local, and I can't think of her name. I think I don't want to say the wrong name. Anyways, shout out to Vitality Bowl because it's owned locally. It is like a franchise, but it's owned by someone who lives in town. Who else? There, a Woman's Touch chiropractic. They're local. Who else? The dentist, the dental offices that are at the back. You really can't hate on the Village. I know a lot of people complain about the parking, but unless you have mobility issues, which I understand some people do have, you can park near TJ Maxx and definitely shop the Village. And above all else, shop local, shop small. I can't say that enough. But yeah, hopefully with these new eateries, there will be more foot traffic going to some of the other small businesses. Um, I'm just thinking back in time when the Village Barbershop was in there, and always a pleasure to pop in and see Al Peretti and the gang there. So the number here, One more time, 510-331-9112. If you wanted to bring up something that we should be discussing, like a comment, complaint, confession, topic. I have expired my list at this point, and we're getting close to maybe the end of the show. Bob is mentioning in regard to traffic, that's just the bicycles. That's another thing as an avid bicyclist. Well, there's Bob. Hey, Bob.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good. So since your list is done, and now that means as I watch, everybody starts hanging up, but I've thought a couple things that you brought up. First of all, Lake Chabot, typically after they lower the speed limit, because they have the sign saying new limit and like that, they do some kind of enforcement. Any idea from the CHP about when that might happen?
I can ask.
I've been driving up there. My granddaughter goes to Chabot, and I follow the speed limit when I go, but I'm usually going in the morning and not coming out of the park. The other thing is, we've talked about this a number of times. It took over 6 months, but my solar went live today.
Oh, awesome.
So, and that was all through the Resilient Home Program with the, I always get them wrong, it's the East Bay Community Power.
Okay.
Oh, and I was, looking at my app and seeing that the solar was powering my house and the excess was going back into the grid. And,
nice.
Most of the delays weren't from my solar installer. It's just that PG&E takes their time getting approvals. The county took their time getting approvals, and the grant took its time getting approvals. But it all went through like the article that I saw on the forum a long time ago that had me call them. So do you know anything about the East Bay Community Power?
I know nothing about them.
I mean, they are, most people in Castro Valley pay them for their power and pay PG&E for the distribution, because if you didn't want to use them, you had to opt out.
Okay.
And
I remember that.
There should be somebody somewhere who can tell us about that and how it works and why they do what they do. And it's got to do a lot with renewable energy, I believe, but I'm not sure exactly. So it's not like we're Palo Alto or Santa Clara where they have their own power company. I think Alameda does too.
Yes.
But and they're totally independent from PG&E. So it's one of the unique things about Castro Valley, that things happen to us that we really don't have a lot to say about.
Yeah. Definitely. So perfect day for you to start collecting solar on a nice warm day, and tomorrow's going to be warmer. Yeah,
well, it's interesting because during the day, and you know what? As soon as it went dark, it turned off. I couldn't figure that out. So I thought maybe they put a real strong street light in front of my house. I could feel some of that, but it doesn't work that way.
Hey, Bob, how about that maize?
Yeah, they lost today, but
did they?
Yeah.
Oh no.
But last week I said I was going to go to the Sharks game, and I did that last night. In fact, I was on Channel 11.
Oh, wow.
After coming out, they were looking for people. They only had 520 people because they were doing kind of a cold start to getting people back in there. But as a hockey fan, it felt good to be in there, and driving from Castro Valley to San Jose. And I did that just about every day for 40 years till I retired, and I'm not sure how I dealt with driving that far that long. I guess I'm older now, but
that's a long commute.
An interesting commute.
So what are your observations on some of the COVID protocols that are happening? And you went to an A's game too, correct?
Yeah, I went to an A's game. The Sharks, because they're indoors, and they only had 500 people because they were testing it.
Mm-hmm.
through a Sharks game, you have to either have a negative COVID test in the last 72 hours, or you have to be fully vaccinated.
Okay.
And they, if you don't have a COVID, if you buy a ticket in advance, you can get a free COVID test at certain locations that they set up around the South Bay, and I think maybe as far north as Fremont.
That's cool.
If you do it, you can do it at the arena. It takes about a half hour, and they charge you for it.
Okay.
And then what they did yesterday, I had registered that and and uploaded a copy of my vaccination certificate. And you went into the parking lot and went through a line where they had a whole bunch of people on computers, put in your name because I had uploaded it, and then they said fine and gave me a wristband. And you had to show the wristband when you went in the arena that showed that you were one or the other.
Right.
Either had the test or had the vaccine. The A's, on the other hand, it was basically you just had to, said that you had no symptoms. You went in, you had to wear your mask. In both cases, they encouraged, in the case of the Sharks, you couldn't eat in your seats, and if you wanted to get any food, they had limited services. You had to order your app. They would have it ready for you in a bag, and then you could go to some specific areas where they had seats that were set out, more than 6 feet apart. And that was the only place in the arena you were allowed to take off your mask. And in your seats and like that, you couldn't move. In both cases, in the A's and the Sharks, they have the seats that aren't part of your pod, your group, taped off or tied off, so you can only sit where they tell you to. And in both cases, they had a lot of ushers and like that. So, I felt yesterday at the Sharks, with everybody going through all those protocols, as safe as I have anywhere.
Okay.
And I'm still hesitant to do things and go places, even though I've had my vaccination done last, early March.
Yeah.
But it was fun just being able to actually, I like sports, so, going to a hockey game, and other people like everything. I really, because of these shows, am considering taking up bowling again, so.
The bowling alley is open, so.
And, it's being open under limited circumstances, how long can you exist that way? Things are getting better. Our positivity rate in the county and in the state's better, but you don't know with this thing. You just have to, cross your fingers.
Yeah, India is having a horrible time.
But you'd asked about what the hockey game might be like last week, so that's my main reason for calling. And
I appreciate that.
I'm looking at the app, and I've only scared off, there's another one. I've scared off 9 people since I started calling.
I appreciate you. Like I said, you...
Tell you what, I'll put it this way. Anybody doesn't want to hear me talk, call.
Yeah, or text.
I don't mind listening to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
And I saw what was going on at Lake Chabot. It's not, it's between Lake Chabot Road and San Leandro.
Okay.
According to the map I saw on the other app.
So it's kind of near the Fairmont Ridge area there?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
It's not, if you were going to base there on Lake Chabot Road, you wouldn't see it. It's right on the lake where the road goes down there. That's what the map I saw said, which would make sense that it's Park District land there.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And, things happen and everybody's interested. I still think that, my last thing is I still think that rather than the sanitary district office, that'd be a good place for our Chick-fil-A.
Your mouth to their ears, maybe they'll buy it. I don't know.
They mind. I shouldn't say it too loud. That would make people really happy. Be careful what you wish for. You might get it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, have a good rest of the show. It was good talking to you, and I'll send you some other ideas I have.
Great. Thank you, Bob, as always. I definitely appreciate all you do to make this show decent.
Okay. You do a good job on you're definitely hitting the unders on the ums this week, so you're doing a good job.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, talk to you later.
Stay safe. Bye-bye. As always, lots of appreciation to Bob for keeping the show going a lot of times. It seems like Bob calls when I'm ready to pull the plug, so I definitely appreciate that. And Karen is mentioning that she noticed something on Lake Chabot, and yep, crime scene numbers, and going back over what we have so far is a body was discovered near Lake Chabot, suspicious circumstances. It is an East Bay Regional Parks case. I will follow up with them, see if I can get some more information for you guys. And I'll give you guys the phone number one more time if you want to call or text or, either or, 510-331-9112. And Dennis sent in a contribution, sent in a pledge. Thank you so much, Dennis. From the bottom, top, middle, center, left, right, center of my heart, thank you so much. That is greatly appreciated. If there are no more questions or comments or anything going on, we've just got a couple more minutes. I expired my list. I have got nothing else. If you have something on your mind, please bring it up. We can discuss it and talk about what's going on. Karen mentioned, continue, don't give up. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm all out of stuff for the list. We're almost near an hour for this one. So let me give some thanks to Bob, as always, for calling in and keeping the show going. Thank you to everyone who tunes in for this interesting show that we put on every week. We do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. We sometimes we have guests, sometimes we just sit here and talk about things happening and events of the day, events of the week. So, hey guys, thank you to everyone who tuned in. We will see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Stay safe, be good to yourself, be good to your neighbors. And as always, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you.